Welcome to session 5 in our series on emotional intelligence. I am Charity Kagwaini, and as I always say, it's always a great joy to come to us on this platform to share a couple of thoughts on the things that I have learned as I pilgrim this journey of life. And even in my experience as a coach, as a mentor, as a trainer, and the essence here is for me to bring out my light. And I also encourage you to bring out your light. And as we each bring out our light into this world, we make this world a better place for all of us to live in, and even for our loved ones. So we'll get right into the session. And in this session, I want to seek to answer a very critical question in this series on emotional intelligence. How do you build emotional intelligence in a very dynamic world? We are living in a world where our emotions are triggered this way and that way by the things that we see, the things that we hear daily. We hear of wars, we hear of pandemics, we see the injustices, in our world. We see the pain, sickness, the different struggles that, different ones have to go through. And all these are triggers within our environment that, cause our emotions to sway this way and that way. And we live in a world where the pressures and the demands of life are relentless. The demands of family, the demands because of competition, capitalism, trailblazing, and our quest for success, our quest to pursue, money and become successful in the things that we do. They all, one way or another, cause our emotions to be triggered. We live in a world of instant, gratification, where it is my way or the highway. So all these things, one way or another, cause us to experience emotions. And in session 2, 3, and 4, I, painted for us a scenario of 3 different great men in our history, just to help us see how emotional intelligence impacts our successes, how, it influences our successes, and how it can cause us to lose those successes, in our lifetime and even beyond our lifetime. And I know there are some that do not necessarily subscribe or ascribe to the Bible, because I use the Bible as an example. But if you do a study of, men and women that in the course of history, you will discover that the principles are the same as far as emotional intelligence is concerned and success. So how do you build emotional intelligence in a very dynamic world so that you can become successful, so that you can sustain that success in your lifetime and be able to pass on that success to those that will carry on your dynasty or those that will carry on your legacy? I will outline 4 things that we can all do to become emotionally intelligent, so that that success that we so hard work for can be sustained. Number 1, when you experience an emotion, acknowledge it. Don't suppress it. Remember we said that emotions are natural. They are the way our bodies react to the internal and external triggers. So they come to us very naturally. It is like gas in your gut. When you have that gas, whether you accept it or not, it is there. So at that point, you have two options: to suppress it and hold it. And then, of course, you will become very uncomfortable, and over time it becomes toxic. Or you will move into an environment where you can let it out and you get relief and you get healing for your body. So emotions are natural. That is what we said in session 1. And allowing yourself to experience that emotion is okay. And it is the first step to becoming emotionally intelligent. Number 2, name that emotion. Emotions are not amorphous. They have names. I am feeling overwhelmed. I am angry. I am sad. I am joyful. I am happy. I am discouraged. Give it a name. When I know I am dealing with a pen, then I know how to handle a pen. When I know I am dealing with a microphone, then I know how to handle a microphone. So equally, name that emotion. If you go to, Google and just ask for the emotional intelligence wheel, you'll be able to see all the emotions named there. And so you can use that to name whatever emotion you experience every single day. Now, by naming that emotion, you are saying that you are acknowledging that that emotion exists and it needs to be addressed or it needs to be attended to. Number 2, by naming that emotion, you will get to know whether you're dealing with a demon or an angel. You will get to know whether you're dealing with positive or negative energy. That is why it is important to name it. Number 3, pause and breathe. Or stop and breathe, depending on the intensity of the emotion. Literally, just stop, take in a breath, breathe out. Breathe in again, breathe out. It gives you time to just calm down. And most importantly, when you pause or stop and breathe, it gives your brain time to process what you have just experienced, which is very critical. Remember I said in my introduction session that it's about emotional intelligence is about re-engineering your brain so that your brain has an upper hand over your emotions. Because naturally, when you experience an emotion, the emotions have an upper hand. But now we are saying we want to become emotionally intelligent. So how do we do it? We re-engineer so that now the brain has an upper hand over your emotion. Now, when you are in that pause mode, when you are in that place where you're calming yourself down, you ask yourself some critical questions. Why am I feeling what I am feeling? Why am I experiencing sadness? Why am I feeling overwhelmed? What is the cause of this emotion? Is it as a result of an internal trigger? Is it as a result of an external trigger? Who is responsible for this emotion? Is it me who caused this emotion? Is it somebody else who, did something and made me, have this emotion? So when you're in that pause mode, there is a lot that is going on. It is actually, that's why I'm saying it is the most critical, step into becoming emotionally intelligent, because it is where the switching happens, where your emotions have been high, but now we are doing a switch where your brain takes charge and logic and rationale begin to guide you on how you're going to respond. And when you're at that place, it is where you begin to weigh the pros and the cons of your response. It is a place where you begin to look at the outcomes of your response. If I respond this way to this emotion, what will be the outcome? If I respond this way to this emotion, what will be the outcome? You will be able to look at a situation where, do I need help even to manage this emotion? Perhaps you're sad, maybe, something that has happened that is beyond you, and you're feeling, very sad, overwhelmed, maybe even depressed. At that point is where you begin to see, I might even need help with managing this emotion. Number 4, decide how you will respond to that emotion. Another very critical step into becoming emotionally intelligent. Now, how you respond to an emotion is based on 2 things. 1, your awareness, the awareness of who you are. And number 2, the awareness of your perceived self-worth. I say again, how you decide to respond to an emotion is based on 2 things. 1, your awareness of who you are, and 2, your awareness of your perceived self-worth. Your awareness of who you are. I am a parent. I am upset with my child. I tell myself, I must not raise my voice at my child. What should I do? I will calm myself down. I will look at the child in the eye, and I will address the situation, or I will address the issue. I will address the issue so that that child understands that what they have done is wrong and it upsets mommy. I am a leader, and I have been criticized by those that I lead, and I decide I will not I will not be defensive. I will not react. Rather, I will try and understand, why are they criticizing me as a leader? What is the issue, and how do I address it? Your awareness of who you are. I am an individual. I am feeling discouraged because things have not worked the way I expected. So I pause. I ask myself, why did things not work? Perhaps I missed out on a step that I should have taken. Perhaps I didn't get there on time, and so things didn't work. Perhaps I didn't put in the effort that I needed. Perhaps I need a bit more skills to be able to do what I need to do so that I can get the desired outcome. So then I decide I will sleep over it, I'll calm down, and then when I wake up in the morning, I will try again. So it is based on your awareness of who you are, and it is based on your perceived self-worth. How do I value myself? If I have low esteem, I will be defensive. But if I have a high sense of self-worth, then I will respond to every emotion with that self-worth. Now, once you have gone through this process, repeat this process with every emotion that you experience. Of course, some emotions, will just be light, and they will just pass on, and they will not even, need to be addressed. But there are those emotions that we experience every day that need to be addressed, because one way or another, they impact or they influence our successes, or they impact our lives in a great way. So every time you experience such an emotion, repeat this process. Acknowledge the emotion that you're feeling. Name it, pause or stop, and breathe, and then decide how you're going to respond to that emotion. And repeat that process over time. Remember, the goal is to re-engineer your brain so that your brain takes lead over your emotions, so that ultimately logic and rationale have an upper hand over your emotions. Now, what will happen is, over time, as you repeat this cycle, you will build the muscle for emotional intelligence. And ultimately, you will learn how to master your emotions. And ultimately, that mastery is what will give you success. It is what will give you the muscle to be able to sustain that success. It is what will give you the muscle to be able to pass on that success even to those that will carry on your legacy. Emotional intelligence.